popcorn, parmesan, person, people, partridge, pederast. Anyway, just warming up the vocal cords here, sharpening up the draw knife, warming up the vocals, and I'm feeling a little rusty here. I haven't quite been using draw knives this it's just I gotta redo the edge a little bit. I gotta take it back to maybe 1500 grit and just do a little cleanup before I hone it again. So I'm kind of trying to find my way here. As long as you're not removing too much material at once, you can be a little funky. You just got to make sure you're not removing too much. So yeah, I did alright with that side. It's just a little uglier. Kind of looks like hewing more than carving with a single cut, which I am doing more than one cut sometimes. You can see I'm really not sure which way I want to cut. You see I'm like drawing it left to right or right to left. I'm not quite sure how I want to go about that. Now, most important thing here is I'm only removing material below the contact, and that means if there's no contact in a certain part, I just don't remove material. And that's how you get the entire line of contact all the way around the axe head. I mean all the way around the axe handle tongue. I like to use the spoke shave on the back. It's a smaller surface area, so even if your spoke shave isn't the sharpest, you'll be able to get it done there. So I think I'm happy with that. I got one more side though. Yeah, so this is a very repetitious, very repeating process here, where you shape below the contact of where the bottom of the axe head is, and then put the axe head back on over and over and over. It's simple, right? But you have to make sure you do things properly every time. Now, what I didn't do here throughout this whole video is check to see if the axe head is on straight and lined up with the palm swell. I didn't do that, but it was already lined up before I started. But because I have so much tongue left, I should have been checking. I just have to, when I get back to it after this, I just had to check and correct, which means that one side below the contact needs to be removed and the other side above the contact needs to be removed, and that's how you get the axe back straight. So yeah, I'm just constantly looking down, looking around, seeing what I need to change. The shoulder isn't exactly how I want it to be at the end. I mean, it's gonna get smaller anyway as it comes down, probably. It'll just look more right, but I want it to be small, you know? The shoulder should be below the metal of the axe head, of the axe cheeks, I guess you could say. You don't want it to be thicker than that, because then it can contact your firewood, or if you're bucking, just bucking a log or felling, you want that to be as out of the way as possible, especially if you're reaching over to the back of a notch when you're felling or something. A big tree especially, but that's not very common. You can see right there, I just used my finger, which I know I showed already. Just used my finger to check where how much longer I gotta go. I just put the axe, when there's this much room left where the tongue has to come all the way up to the top of the eye, I don't mind just putting it on my lap and hitting it out with a drift. Everybody's gonna have their kind of way of doing things. Because I'm sitting on this low bench, it changes things for me. I could go way faster probably, but at the same time, it's pretty easy to mess it up. So there's nothing wrong with taking your time. If you're not doing production, if you don't need to make 10 handles a day or more, maybe 30 handles a day by hand, which I don't know anybody who could do that, unless they're using a belt grinder, I guess. But I'd actually like to test how many handles I could do in a day. Let me think. If I really, if there was like a bet and someone bet me, you know, 1,000, you know, $10,000, can you do 5 handles in a day? I think I could do that pretty easy, honestly. That would give me an enormous amount of concentration. Now, hatchet handles are easier. Since I've been working on that long handle, I really appreciate how difficult it can be to work on something that long with hand tools. I was actually thinking maybe I should pull out the hand plane. Maybe that would make sense to just thin it. That's where I'm at right now, thinning. I've gotten it so straight that, you know, I don't know, I guess I left it as is, but it does need to dry more. Not a ton, but significant, and a significant amount. The last couple percent, it actually can take a while when it comes to moisture content of lumber. It would dry faster if I thinned it a little more, but really the thing that matters is the handle tongue. I don't care how dry it is other than the handle tongue, really. I don't think that handles warp a ton just because they're slightly more wet than their final drying moisture content, because it fluctuates anyway. The relative humidity, the heat, the airflow, it's going to change your moisture content of your lumber throughout the seasons and throughout the days. So I like this little head, by the way. It's just a Dayton pattern, but I always thought that clean Dayton patterns with full bits and that same shape, the original bit shape, I always thought they looked pretty cool. So I think I'm getting it down a little more, getting a little more comfortable with this draw knife. I just felt like I got 2 left hands a little bit in the beginning. Not sure why. I guess I haven't been making as many handles as normal with the draw knives. I had a real unfortunate incident where I noticed there was a huge chunk of steel missing out of my 7-inch draw knife, so I gotta fix that. It's a lot. It's really going to be annoying. I don't know how I'm going to fix it, really. I guess I just got to go all the way down to my coarsest whetstone. It's going to blow. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to do the whole 7-inch, but I still have a 10-inch that I have to restore, and I'm interested to see if I'm going to like that, because as you can see, the 8-inch is sitting right there. But maybe to thin. Maybe I would like thinning things more with the 10-inch. We'll see. I suspect not, but I haven't used it, so who knows. Look at that. Look at that delicate little touch we got going here. I like this draw knife a lot. 6 inches is cool to me. It's detailed. So I think I'm going to hang it one more time, and then we're going to end the video here. You see that little hammer? It's cool, isn't it? It's a American Beach handle that I made myself. And it's a little Kelly, I think, 4-pound head, hammer head. Blacksmithing hammer? Not sure what they call this. A little tricky there. Thanks for watching, ladies and fellas, lads and, I forget, lasses?